Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday, April 9th Town Council meeting. We're going to get started right away, Madam Clerk.
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The annual notice was emailed to the Star Ledger and filed in the Township Clerk's office on November 21st, 2023, and published in the West Orange Chronicle on November 30th, 2023. Councilwoman Castellino?
Present.
Councilwoman Geber Michael?
She's not here.
She's not coming
She's
on.
not coming at all?
Coming.
Oh, okay, thank you. Councilwoman Scarpa?
Present.
Councilwoman Williams?
Present.
Council President Rutherford?
Here.
Oh, Mayor McCartney? Thank you.
We are going to begin tonight with our promotion ceremony for Sergeant John Hamilton. Madam Mayor. I'm sorry. Bio here?
Do you want, who's videotaping? Since you all are facing this way, I'll videotape for you so that we can see you.
The Bible is under
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
chief. The Bible is under there.
it's right here.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay.
Or if you want to come, just come. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Yeah, this is. Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, good evening, and thank you, everybody, for being here. We're about to see our police officer, John Hamilton, promoted to the rank of sergeant. John was appointed on January 5th, 2018. He's a graduate of West Orange High School. His beautiful fiancee, Lexi Kilpatrick, is here today to hold the Bible for him. John is the recipient of 1 Medal of Merit, 2 life-saving awards, and 1 command citation. And he is a trustee of the West Orange PBA Local 25, and they're also represented in the back of the room here today. I think Paserchio, our PBA president, is here. So with no further ado, I'm going to ask Mayor McCartney to administer the oath of office.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
Do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of sergeant
all the duties of the office of sergeant
according to the best of my judgment.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Councilors, I don't want to take this.
Sure.
Don't think.
Put in there. Hold on. This way. Okay.
You ever look this way? Okay, hold the pose. Thank you.
Yeah, so that people there. Good one, miss out on the photo. Okay. Oh. Terrible.
As soon as they close. All right, we, next, on the agenda for tonight is a presentation, by Stephen Nagel. Oh, no?
Just a minute.
Oh,
We have
okay.
one more, a proud West Orange graduate that we would like to recognize and honor, just like our sergeant, please. I know Sandy Guerrero is here.
Ah, I
yes.
didn't think she was, okay.
Thank you. Here we go. Okay, so here a West Orange native, Sandy Guerrero, graduate of West Orange High School and daughter of Johnny and Claudia Guerrero, is a wrestler, the only wrestler, male or female. Let's see. To have won the New Jersey State Wrestling Championship from West Orange during her senior year of high school in 2020. She is also the first woman of New Jersey to commit to New Jersey University Wrestling Program. Sandy now holds a 3-time All-American wrestler status after claiming the national title at 191 pounds at the National Collegiate Wrestlers Championship in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. She is the senior captain of the 9th-ranked New Jersey City University Women's Wrestling Program run by Coach Barry Hart. This victory marks the first individual national champion on the women's wrestling program at New Jersey City University and the first for New Jersey. And Sandy's journey to this championship was nothing short of spectacular. She began her weekend with 3 consecutive victories by fall, excuse me, propelling her into the semifinals with unmatched momentum. In the decisive match against Alexa Garcia, the 3rd-ranked King University, Guerrero emerged victorious with a 8-1 decision. Sandy faced off in the finals against number 3-ranked Joyce Fowler at the University of Iowa in the championship match in front of a stadium full of Iowa fans. Guerrero showcased her resilience and skill executing a flawless takedown. She then completed her victory with a pin at 2 minutes 22, securing her place on the national champion. Sandy was awarded the Outstanding Wrestler Award, which is voted by all participating university wrestling coaches at the national level. This is very impressive award to attain out of 210 wrestlers who competed. Just in time. Whereas Sandy concluded the season with a program record of 29 victories, including 9 wins by fall and a program record 9 wins for technical fall. She also stands as New Jersey City University's all-time leader in career victories, 63, solidifying her legacy within the program. So now therefore be it resolved that I, Susan McCartney, and the West Orange Town Council wish to extend our congratulations to Sandy Guerrero on her historic achievement and exemplary representation of New Jersey grit. Her dedication, perseverance, and leadership on and off the mat have been instrumental in her success and the elevation of women's wrestling on a national stage. And she's here to prove it. Wait till you see what she's bringing with her, Sandy.
Hey, Sandy, you want to say a few words? Because I have an idea for a picture. You can sit up there with your trophy. Yeah, this is back.
Amazing. On the top of women's
Thank you. This one's
basketball.
heavy.
Yay. Women are doing amazing things in sports.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
I just want to thank everybody here in the town of West Orange. I've been here since I was 5 years old, started at Redwood and went through our public school system. So I'm so thankful. And I always had a great support system. I started our West Orange Rec program when I was 8 years old. I was one of 2 girls and it was tough. I was one of the only girls. The boys didn't really want to be my partner. I got beat up for 2 hours every day. The coach made me run and I still hate running. But I always had a lot of support from the whole entire town. So I really appreciate it. And I didn't win this by myself. It took my whole support system, the town, all the state of New Jersey, my family, coaches, my godfather. So I'm super, super thankful for everything. Thank you so much.
Can I have her sit there in your seat and you sit next to her and we can move the trophy up there?
Very cool.
Well, let's just get one with the town council.
Yeah, Michelle,
We should probably stand around.
4 years.
Yeah, that-
Well, let's hold these. Yeah, let's.
Put the big one?
Come around the back.
Sitting or standing?
This is amazing. Oh my God. It's so heavy.
It is, right?
Okay, everybody look this way. All right, that's a great picture.
Right, family? Coach? Johnny, Claudia, please come up, take a picture. And your
Come on, Marcos.
Marcos.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
So amazing. Feel like I'm standing next to Roy.
Abuela.
Oh, hey, congratulations, you're so welcome. Here we go. Good, Marcos, you in?
Hold on, here come the grandma.
Oh,
She's got it.
That's okay. She's good.
Here's the real coaches.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
I thought it was Fargo in high school, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell you what, I'll go the other way.
Very sweet.
No, all different.
Everybody look this way. And Sandy, I accidentally bumped into you. I just wanted to make that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
West Orange.
Wait, before you go anywhere, I'm not.
Yeah, she had a great place with that.
We had on everyone. I know high school. But we were on Zoom then. Remember, you guys- You were shortchanged. We were on Zoom.
You wanna hold these? Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
That's great.
Sweet girl.
Sandy.
Lots of luck, Sandy. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Very nice. Congratulations again. Oh my gosh. You're welcome. You're welcome. This was amazing.
An achievement.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. They must be so proud of her.
All right, and now we will have Stephen Nagel with the home sharing presentation.
Absolutely.
Good evening, everybody. So you said it was a little askew. Can you hear me okay? Now can you?
Yes, that was
Okay,
better.
perfect. Great. Good evening, everybody. I'm Laura Van Dyke, Director of Senior Services. Thank you for this brief moment. We have Stephen Nagel here, the Executive Director of Home Sharing, Inc., which is a wonderful option for people seeking affordable housing as well as who have the desire to age in place. So we're thrilled to have him here. Also stay tuned because on May 8th at the library, we're having a housing forum that's going to go into greater detail about a variety of housing options that we're thrilled to bring to you and make more clear. Special thanks to Olive Ross, our new Senior Livability Coordinator, who's doing a great job and working on a lot of these initiatives. So I'll let Steve take it away. Thank you.
I am going to break the cardinal rule of never follow the national champion. And Madam Mayor and Mr. Council President, council members, I brought an hour-long presentation for you tonight. However, I was told
Oh, no,
that, probably none of you will stick around for that, so I will trim this down to about 5 to 10 minutes with your permission. So Home Sharing's organization was established 39 years ago, started in Somerset County in the founder's living room, and has since expanded all over northern New Jersey with a big expansion happening back in 2001. Our mission is to create affordable housing solutions by matching those seeking housing with those who need additional income or services to maintain their homes while fostering independence and dignity. And currently we have a big push going on right now in Essex County, primarily in South Orange and in Ocean and Monmouth counties to expand our client base there in 2024. Home sharing is a permanent housing solution for those people that have a home and need additional income, companionship, or help to help them remain in their home, and those looking for affordable housing are amenable to living in someone else's home. And our services are provided at no fee to our clients. Our basic program parameters is a person sharing a home with someone. We call them seekers and providers. Providers are those that have homes. Seekers, those people looking for housing. They'll receive a private room, private or shared bathroom, and share other common areas of the home. It's not just renting a room. It's a very different concept than landlord, tenant, or homeowner boarder. The basic criteria is the seeker has to have a consistent income. Our average homeowner asks for about $700 a month. The range tends to be between $650 and $850, making it a very affordable housing option that usually includes utilities. And homeowners must have an income also. They cannot depend on the seeker to provide all the money for them to sustain their housing. In turn, seekers can provide to providers service arrangements in exchange for reduction in their home sharing costs. Examples include yard cleaning, shoveling snow, walking the dog, going shopping. It's a great program for seniors. We have someone that can make a phone call in case of an emergency, prepare, set up meals, go grocery shopping for the provider, give them rides to doctor's appointments, provide companionship. We found that 80% of our providers and 78% of our seekers have had an increase in their level of companionship and reduction of the stresses and loneliness because of our program. The only thing we don't do is hands-on service. We don't do dressing, toileting, showering, things like that. We're not set up to be a program like that. And just to give you an example of a service arrangement, we had a husband and wife, mother, father. The wife passed away, all the kids lived out of state, and the children were very concerned about their father's well-being. They did home sharing with us, and in exchange for a reduction in the home sharing expense, the seeker was told every morning to say good morning to the provider. And the provider, the father, was in turn told that every time he says good morning to you, you need to say good morning back. And they did a $50 reduction in the home sharing expense, and every day they got a wellness check for their senior parent. Our application process, we have a phone intake process. Right now, it's been done this way 39 years. We explain home sharing to them, make sure it fits. We make sure they know we're not an emergent program. We have a process we have to go through, how it's going to work, how our program works. This has been a great system we've been using for 39 years. So, of course, I'm going to mess it all up when we're going to online applications in 2024. Why keep something for only 40 years? We'll send them an application. We require 3 personal references, and we also do professional background checks. The references cannot be family members. They have to be people from outside their family. It can be current landlord, employers, friends, people they've worked with in the past. They just cannot be family members. If they're under any sort of medical care, we have to talk to their medical caregiver. And that is just to determine whether or not someone can live independently in a shared home environment. And they also have to provide proof of income, whether that be 2 recent pay stubs or a social security letter, an award letter for a pension. If they're not being paid in a payroll system, a letter from the employer establishing they are in fact employed and they have a weekly or biweekly salary. We do the reference checks. We then have master of social work on staff, and that individual interviews both the provider and the seeker to learn more about them, to find their likes and dislikes, how they feel about pets in the house, how they feel about firearms, people that smoke, people that drink. Because if you have someone that owns a home that smokes as a habitual smoker and someone who's allergic to smoke, that is not a match with people we want to put together. It's just not going to work. If we find people that we believe would be compatible, and this process takes about 2 to 3 weeks, we then bring them together for the first time and sit them down. We provide the prospect's name to the provider. It is their home after all. They're the final decision maker in all this. We sit them down together. They get to meet each other and see whether or not they want to, in fact, live together. If they say, yeah, this would really work for both of us, then we call it a match. And a match is made. We complete a shared living agreement, which is a contract for the living situation. It is not a lease. It's an agreement, for example, that they will have the use of a private bedroom. They'll have the 3 cabinets in the kitchen, 2 shelves in the refrigerator, 1 in the freezer. They can use the dining room. They can use the living room. They can't go into my bedroom. They can park in the garage. They can't park in the garage. They can go park on the street. They can't park. It's all worked out in that shared living agreement. The move-in date is set, but that's not where our services end. We believe that it's important to keep our clients in a successful match environment for as long as we can. So we follow up with them 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, and every year after that. Because we usually find that our problems come within the first 30 to 60 days. I move into someone's home. We call the provider to see how it goes. And they say, oh, Steve said he was really neat. And he kept his bedroom made all the time and he did his dishes. He never does his dishes. And he's a slob and I can't take it. So our MSW will call me and say, you said you're going to do your dishes, do your darn dishes, make your bed, follow your side of the agreement. And that will make a better living arrangement for both of you. And those are usually the problems we have that we work out. It works 95% of the time. For the 5% that it doesn't, there's a 30-day out. Either side can give 30 days written notice of their intention to move out. And what we will do is we will work to find another seeker to put into that provider's home as quickly as possible. Our accomplishments, we had over 1,800 of these matches since we started. Our longest running match is 24 years. Our longest tenured provider is 28 years. And invariably the question comes up, well, how many people does that person have? She is currently on her 7th match. And the question that always comes after that is, well, what happened to the other 6? The other 6 are on their own permanent housing. And they said the reason they could do that is because they were able to save them enough money through the home sharing program to put a down payment on their home. The 7th family that is with her right now, her name is Ella. The family with Ella right now, their oldest son is in college. Their youngest daughter is a senior in high school. And I've met the family and the mother said to me, the only reason I can put my kid through college is because we're doing home sharing. And their plan is once the kids are out of college, they should then use the tuition money for a down payment on their own home, which means for us, we're going to have to find another seeker to go with Ella. We average between 1 and 5 matches a month. And at any point, we're managing between 50 and 60 matches. So, Mr. Council President, that is my hour-long presentation done in about 9 minutes. I have brochures and cards that will gladly distribute to everyone to complete. I'm more than happy to answer questions if it's appropriate from the council and from your constituents, if that's what you'd like me to do. I'll do pretty much now whatever you'd like me to do.
Sure. First, let me say thank you. This is something that's new to me. I was not aware of home sharing. Certainly do want to get your card before we go. Colleagues, do you have any questions for him?
I just want to thank you. I think this was really informative and you actually, as you were talking, even though you condensed it, you pretty much answered most of my questions. My biggest concern was if it didn't work out, how would that work? If you ever had someone that you just couldn't remove or vice versa. I mean, you seem to check in enough. So God forbid, if there's any kind of abuse to someone, you're able to pick up on that. So let me ask you that. Have you ever come across that?
In 40 years, we have had one.
Oh, wow.
And because it's not a lease, it's a contract. It went to civil court, the court sided with us on the side of the contract that yes, this person did do their due diligence in giving 30 days and the person was removed from the home.
Okay. But what about like, as far as the elders themselves, did you ever have an issue with the caretaker abusing them or anything? Did you ever
Nope.
have to step in?
No,
or-
again, we do such an intensive screening process before they even get to meet each other that we will, for lack of a better term, weed those people out
Okay.
before they get to that point. Our MSW is phenomenal. She's been doing it 11 years, so she can kind of tell when people are looking to take advantage, primarily the elderly. We're very sensitive to the needs of our senior clients. And so we especially watch out for any of the warning signs that may come up.
And what's the turnaround time? Someone applies to they find placement, the average?
About 3 weeks. Again, we're not an emergent
Yeah.
organization. So if someone calls up and says, I'm going to be homeless on Friday, I need to go somewhere, we will network them with other organizations we work with, including the 211 system, to get them into temporary housing until we can house them. If we have someone in a 30-day situation that we can't rehouse, I actually have an agreement with a hospitality manager who manages 50 hotels and motels throughout the state. And they've agreed to take the rate that the seeker is paying in the home as a cost for a hotel or motel room until we can get them replaced.
And are they entitled to, I guess they would be because they'd be considered a resident of the
Mhm.
community, any kind of transportation services or anything that the municipality has to offer, they would be entitled to? even
Sure,
though they're in the
they
home?
have that address.
Okay.
That's where they're living.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
So I have
I have a question.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. I'm just wondering because fair share housing credits will be released in our municipal obligations. Does this program allow any credits towards fair share housing?
That is an excellent question. And I have to answer that with no comma, not yet.
Okay.
I'm working on trying to get us COA certified. It is not an easy process. I'm learning it's way more difficult and with all the changes going on at the state level, it's become much harder. We are trying because in my personal opinion, I think it's unfair that if we take someone that fits the requirements, you should get a credit for that.
Right.
And we're working towards that as diligently as we can. We're working with the Fair Housing
FBA.
Alliance.
FBA?
And I know Matt Hirsch there, so I'm
Okay.
trying to we're trying to get that done as quickly as we can.
That would be excellent.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's like push and roll.
Oh, it is. But if you need any assistance, let us know.
So thank you. I
You're
will.
welcome. You're welcome.
My question was with regard to seekers. I think I understand the vetting process for I'm sorry, not seekers, providers. I think I understand the vetting process for seekers. What is the vetting process for providers?
Same one.
Okay, and so they apply to Home Share to become a provider.
Correct.
And then they,
And then we do the background checks and the reference checks to make sure that that would be a safe place for someone to live.
and then it's an annual inspection of the home or?
We don't inspect, we do a walkthrough.
Mhm.
Because we're not that kind of housing agency. But all our staff does a walk through the home. We don't have the stringent requirements, like we have to, it's a homeowner's responsibility to have a smoke alarm in every room. Those kinds of things. We check that they have smoke alarms. We check that the plumbing is working, the electricity is up to code for the building, but we don't do a full housing inspection. And that was actually a conversation Laura and Olive and I were having, and I've been remiss, Mr. Council President, not thanking them for all their patience in working with me and trying to get us to this day today and to the forum coming up in May.
No, thank you. We know Laura's a superstar in West Orange, so
Second that.
I can third that.
that was it for me. Any other questions
No,
before thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you
Nagel.
very much. If you'd like, I'll leave these here.
Please do.
And please, at your leisure, feel free to call. You know better.
Council President, we will have that presentation available on the website tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fagan.
My pleasure. And thank you all for your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's now 7:05. Do you want to include your council liaison announcements in your responses to public comment? Great.
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
Okay. This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The annual notice was emailed to the Star Ledger and filed in the Township Clerk's office on November 21st, 2023, and published in the West Orange Chronicle on November 30th, 2023. Councilwoman Castellino,
Present.
Councilwoman Scarpa, present. Councilwoman Williams, Council President Rutherford,
Here.
Mayor McCartney. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic which is began one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The council is now in their public meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are going to open up public comment. Going to ask Mr. Fagan to begin, followed by Mr. Puglisi, and then anyone else in person only that would like to have public comment. You are welcome to join us at the microphone. Please state your name and address, and you will have 5 minutes to address the council.
Thank you, Council President. My slides may be a little out of order and I'll move quickly here. I wanted to mention that we had Restaurant Week. Restaurant Week will be upcoming April 13th to the 21st. You can check out all the participating restaurants at westorangerestaurantweek.com. There was 2 weeks ago, Councilwoman, you want to talk about this, Councilwoman Castellino?
You can say, and I'll reach
Okay. There was a ribbon cutting 2 weeks ago, Castle Rock downtown. That is the old Oak Barrel. Mayor McCartney was, of course, there. There was this past week, Orange Sky Coffee Roasters, another new business downtown, and of course the boxing club on I believe they're on Main Street had a ribbon cutting. I'm sorry, grand opening. There is a arts and mental health conversations coming up at West Orange Arts Council building on Thursday, April 25th. And it's for health, wellness, and the arts, and just for mental well-being overall. There's a spaghetti dinner, the annual fundraiser for the Lions Club, coming up this Thursday at the West Orange High School Tarnoff Cafeteria. The Lions Club is a great community partner They support many initiatives in West Orange. This is a big fundraiser for them. So if you have the time, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. West Orange High School Tarnoff Cafeteria, please stop by. Also, this is kind of an alert. There's no action that needs to be taken, but the housing choice voucher, which was commonly known as Section 8, it will be accepting applications May 1st, 2024, 8:30 a.m. Now, there will be at the next council meeting, hopefully a presentation. Nothing is online as of yet, but I wanted to alert the public. Only one application per household will be accepted. And the important thing to note is that applications will only be accepted online, not in person. Please do not come into town hall. And they will only be accepting the first 300 completed applications. This is not available yet, but it will be available in a couple of weeks at westorange.org. If I'm understanding it correctly, you'll be able to go on the website, fill out the application, but it has to be completed application. It cannot be submitted prior to May 1st at 8:30 a.m. And before concluding this slide, the only thing worth noting is that a completed application, if it's incomplete, it will not be accepted. So there will be more information on this coming up. I hope I stated that correctly, Mr. Smeraldo. Of course, April is Autism Awareness Month. I think the tagline, accept, understand, love, says it all. It's about accepting, understanding, and most importantly, loving. And for the many autism parents in West Orange, you'll see that message of love exercised every day. A very popular event coming up is the Junior Public Safety Academy, June 24th to June 28th. The application packet is due May 17th, and you can contact Sergeant Ed Diaz at wopd.org, or you can certainly send me an email, and I'd be glad to put you in touch with him. The application packet is available on our website, westorange.org. I mentioned this last council meeting, but this only happens a few times a year. West Orange Shredding Day is this Sunday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Please check the restrictions on the website. There are many things that are accepted, but there's also an equal amount of things that are not accepted. Mayor McCartney has open office hours this Thursday. No appointment is ever necessary. Another thing I wanted to mention, volunteers are needed for a spring cleanup, yard cleanup for older adults. It will be taking place Saturday, April 20th, 2024 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is part of the seniors program, and they need volunteers. And this is a good opportunity for anyone who wants to volunteer to come out. This is a one-time service that is provided for older adults in need of landscaping. They don't have any contacts in place. It's only outside work. There's no inside cleaning or windows or anything of that nature. Everybody will get a delicious boxed lunch that's provided by Moe's Southwest Grill. That is incentive enough. Many times people are looking for volunteer opportunities. This is an excellent opportunity. It's only going to involve yard raking, cleaning away leaves, branches, and clutter, hauling debris to the curb, mowing the grass, and cleaning garden and flower beds. Great exercise, as I mentioned, exterior cleanup bowling. Please contact Laura Van Dyke or Noelia Perez. The number is 325-4106. This information is available on our website. This is going to be a busy weekend, Sunday, April 14th. There's a hike, Lenape Trail hike. Some people pronounce it Lenape. I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is, but it's from Mayapple Hill to the Eagle Rock Reservation. You need to RSVP your invitation. Please contact Joe McCartney, Open Space Chairman. His email is up there, josephpmc53@gmail.com. This information is also available on the website. There is transportation options. The shuttle bus will pick you up at Eagle Rock Reservation and drop you off at Mayapple Hill, or you can simply go to get to Mayapple Hill on your own and be there by 8:45. Also, everyone's probably sick of me saying this, but April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. In my opinion, every month should be, not just April, but the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is specifically designating you drive, you text, you pay. And this is certainly supported by the West Orange Police Department and all law enforcement agencies throughout New Jersey. So just special awareness we're all guilty of it at times, but please pay attention to the road, not your phone. Restaurant Week was mentioned. Arts and mental health was mentioned. Finally, I think maybe some people have noticed, but we had a solar eclipse yesterday. It was visible here in West Orange. Now, in case you didn't get your glasses in time, I just wanted to point this out because we have another one scheduled for August 23rd, 2044, a little over 20 years from now. So you have ample enough time to get your glasses in. Council President, I'm not going to go on any longer. I'm going to spare you the rest of it. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much. I just want to mention anybody looking to get in touch with the council, they can email them in a single email to council@westorange.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. Mr. Puglisi.
Good evening, Anthony Puglisi, representing County Executive Joe DiVincenzo. My list of events isn't quite as long as Joe's. Of course, we're in April, so that means it's cherry blossom season. Our festival continues this weekend, Saturday, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. We have a children's fun run and a family day at the Prudential Concert Grove in Branchford Park. And then Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. is the Bloom Fest. And that's going to be in the middle division of the park, which is off of Heller Parkway. May 4th is a Saturday. That's our household hazardous waste cleanup. That's 8:30 to 4. That's at our Public Works facility on Bradford Avenue in West Orange. And household hazardous waste is fluorescent light bulbs, paint, thinners, cleaners, fertilizer, things like that. And then also May 18th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is a computer and recycling event at the same location, 99 West Bradford Avenue in Cedar Grove. Self-explanatory, computer recycling. So it's computers, TVs, VCRs, anything broken, out of date, you can bring it by. And I did skip one. April 20th is Earth Day at our environmental center. That's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's at 621 Eagle Rock Avenue in Roseland. Our environmental center has become an epicenter for environmental and nature learning. And this is a day where we join with all our partners like Rutgers Master Gardeners and other organizations like that to show off all the programs that are offered for people of all ages. All this is on our website, which is EssexCountyNJ.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Puglisi. The microphone is available for anyone in council chambers that would like to address the council in public comment. Please just make your way up to the microphone. You do not have to wait to be called. State your name and address for the record, please. Yes, sir.
Doctor. It's on.
You can leave the microphone, please. It's on.
It is?
Yep.
You put it closer to your mouth, we can hear it better.
Dr. Robert Hoatson, Hoatson, 10 Gaston Street, Apartment 8S, John Renner Building. I noticed on the agenda that after Mr. Nagel's presentation, there was supposed to be a council liaison announcement. And I'm wondering why it wasn't done, or that's what attracted my interest tonight.
We're going to address you at the end, but just for those that may have that same question, I've asked my colleagues to hold their council liaison announcements until they give response to public comment. So we are going to do them. We're going to do them once public comment is done. Each one of us will have some time.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
My name is Jonathan Redwine. I live at 10 Comay Terrace. And I just came to comment briefly about one of the items that is on your agenda tonight. It's item 119-24, the resolution supporting the community energy plan grant application. The mayor asked me to head the sustainability committee within the environmental commission. And that item is related to our committee. What it is an application for a $10,000 grant so that we can put together a community energy plan that will cover several aspects of energy usage in West Orange, including transportation, building energy consumption, food waste, things like that. I think there are a couple more. And the idea is that you have a year to put together a plan to increase sustainability, reduce the use of fossil fuels and carbon emissions in the town over a sort of 5-year time frame. So we started working on this in the committee. There's a template that Sustainable Jersey puts out, and there are resources at Sustainable Jersey that help us to put together the plan. At the end of the year, we'd come back to the council with the plan and submit it to you all for approval. And what that approval then does is it allows the town to go forward and sort of carry through with the objectives of the different activities that we want to do. There are a lot of possible activities that we'll be looking at. Some examples, I'm sure you're going to have questions about what they are. EV chargers, infrastructure for EV charging for the public throughout the town. So we would be looking at sort of how many EV chargers are needed, where they're needed in town. Is there a social equity component of that, where we don't want to have them all clustered in one place or another? Things like that for lots of things, including also, let's see, like efficiency of buildings. So if a municipal building is very inefficient in how it uses energy, maybe suggesting or proposing that we put some money aside to increase the amount of insulation in the building, replace windows, things like that. The sort of kicker and the bottom line, real attractive aspect of this, putting together this plan, is it puts us in a position after a year to apply for implementation grants. And the state awards up to $250,000 to help implement a project. So it's real. It's not just $2,000 for this or $5,000 for that. It's if you put together a plan and a program that is, that Sustainable Jersey can look at and say, yeah, we would support you in that, then you can get real grant money to implement the proposals. So that's what the resolution on your agenda tonight is not for a $250,000 grant. It's for a $10,000 grant to help us put together the plan. At the end of the road are possibilities of implementation grants. So I just wanted to sort of explain that. It's maybe not clear as you read the proposed resolution. So that's what that is about. So thank you for considering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Darnell Gibbs. I live in 200 block of Tremont Avenue in Orange, New Jersey. I'd like to express my gratitude, and I would like to express my gratitude this evening for everyone that's here in presence today, to include the individuals that's here on Zoom. I'm the CEO of Paranatural Vibes, LLC, minority-owned, family-owned, and veteran-owned company here in the state of New Jersey. Throughout my life, I've always been dedicated to giving back to the community in any way possible. This commitment has been demonstrated through my service with honor, dignity, integrity with the United States Army, and currently serving the United States Air Force for over a decade. I've had the privilege of being deployed to various locations such as Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Africa, to name a few. Additionally, I serve as a member of law enforcement here in Essex County. However, one aspect of community service that holds a special place in my heart is my volunteer work as the Deputy Director of New Jersey Cops for Kids. This organization is the largest nonprofit ran by active and retired members of law enforcement here in Essex County. The opening of my location for my dispensary is an extension of my ongoing efforts to serve the community. I have witnessed firsthand how fentanyl-laced products can have an adverse effect on the consumer, which can, in some cases, lead to death. By opening Pure Natural Vibes, we aim to provide adult consumers with state-approved cannabis products and valuable cannabis education. But by providing adult consumers with access to safe and tested products, it will decrease the likelihood of them ingesting contaminated and spiked substances. As a responsible and family-oriented company, we are ready and committed to having a positive presence in the Township of West Orange. We kindly seek your approval with Resolution 117-24. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Stay in your chair. Don't fall out.
Just act like it's normal. Normalize it.
It's a trend.
Normalize it.
Very hard to do that.
Normalize it.
I want to thank everyone, all three of you, four of you, five of you that participated in public comment. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Colleagues, would you like to respond? We'll start reverse order this time. We'll start with Councilwoman Scarpa.
Okay, great. I'll start with my announcements for our Older Adults Advisory Board. We had a meeting last night. We are so thrilled and happy with the support that we've gotten from Laura Van Dyke on our senior cafe, our winter cafe. All of the seniors that have attended have really enjoyed it. It's a new innovative pilot program to bring more programming to seniors at the Toby Cat Center, which is a beautiful recreational facility that we have that has been underutilized, and the seniors are really loving it there. And it's been so successful that Laura is continuing a spring cafe. And that should be especially nice since it's such a nice place to sit and be outdoors and have lunch with a friend. And I just want to say on behalf of all the seniors in town and myself, I would like to thank Laura for all of the work and Noelia that they've put into the cafe. They're invaluable resources in our township. So thank you to them. The Economic Development Committee did not meet this month, but we are looking forward to next month, and hopefully we will meet with our new economic developers at some point soon. OSPAC is planning their summer programming, which we'll be bringing to you in the next month or so. There are a lot of fun items on there, and we hope to get the seniors out to some of those as well. Like we did last year, we got some transportation for them, and hopefully we'll be able to do the same. Because last night at our meeting, we had a couple of people from the Rent a House, seniors, who wanted to go to programs at the library, particularly a music program, a piano program. However, since they don't drive, they didn't have transportation. And one of the things that we are doing is trying to work on solving two of the most serious problems for seniors, which are transportation, enhancing the transportation, and communications. We have so many great programs that Laura has been implementing. However, a lot of them don't really know about them because if seniors don't have email, they often are not aware of all the programming we do. So those are the two initiatives that we're working on. With that, I think that answers Dr. Hodgson's question. Jonathan Redwine, thank you for about the liaison.
That is her announcement.
Yeah, that's my announcement on the liaisons. About the senior services and the senior meetings that we had. Were you expecting something different? I'm the liaison to that committee. Jonathan Redwine, thank you so much for clarifying what you're doing on the environmental committee. As a liaison to the environmental committee, I didn't really know too much about what you're doing, and I'd love to learn more. And to the Gibbs, we are so looking forward to welcoming you into our community. I'm kind of new to this whole effort in the past year, but I have a sense of the struggles that you have had, and I am very thrilled with the responsibility and the responsible manner and seriousness with which you take your business. So thank you and welcome. And that's it.
Thank you, Councilwoman Scarpa. Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to thank Mr. Fagan and Mr. Puglisi for your timely announcements. Thank all of our speakers, and Mr. Fagan, if you will, I always ask how many participants we have on Zoom.
19.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Redwine, thank you so much for the opportunity to discuss with you earlier today this resolution and the grant opportunity. We are always looking to see if we can get more opportunities for revenue into the town so that we can have these strategic plans presented for us and on our behalf. So thank you for your advocacy on that. Remember the book that you gave us that most of us probably still have not read yet. But again, we thank you for all that you're doing for the community. We appreciate your service. As far as liaison announcements are concerned, the Historic Preservation Commission meets tomorrow at 7 p.m. Still very much focused on some opportunities around town for us to make sure we preserve our historically designated properties. The Municipal Alliance Committee only meets quarterly, so we will probably have another meeting, if I'm not mistaken, May, June. The Arts Council, you saw that we have an upcoming event on April 25th. Over the past weekend, we also just put in our new show, which is a small work show. And for those who are looking for something to do on a Saturday around town, the Arts Gallery is open on Saturdays from 12 to 4. This particular opportunity will be a networking and informative exchange to discuss with different speakers meal preparation, rest and self-care, mindfulness, spirituality, and how all of those impact and intersect with the arts. So please all are welcome to attend. This is an open invitation if you're interested. And there'll be light refreshments there. It'll be a very fun evening and welcoming those who have not had an opportunity to go to the art gallery an opportunity to do so. Also, just for a brief reminder, if you are interested in the Juneteenth Film Festival, we are still accepting short films up until April the 15th. I'm very excited. We have received several short film submissions from students in the area. We will be featuring some of their works. We have students that are not from West Orange who just are theater majors or in the film industry, and they also included their works. This event will be on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of June, different localities around town. So we're very excited about planning that event. And just put those dates on your calendar for Juneteenth. And Council President, that completes my announcements.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Castellino.
Thank you, Council President. Let me see here. So let me start with the Gibbs. Congratulations on getting this far and thank you for your patience. I know it's been a really, really long process and but again, we always in good intentions to make sure we get things right. And I really appreciate all your transparency and all your efforts. And also, Mr. Gibbs, thank you for your service too and all your community volunteerism as well. I know you'll be a great establishment here in the community and hopefully, a very good example for the other businesses to open. So good luck with the rest of the process. Jonathan Redwine, thank you so much for coming down and explaining to us. When I read through the materials, no doubt that this was going to be a positive, an easy yes tonight. And, it's so important because when you're doing grant applications and grant writing, which I've done a lot of experience with, it's all these many tedious steps. And I know how burdensome and time consuming it is. So thank you very much for putting the time in on a grant that will lead to larger funding. So that's always good to see. And let's see here what else we have tonight. Mr. Puglisi, thank you also for those, your announcements. And as I love this time of year, going by our county parks, they just look gorgeous with those cherry blossoms. So thank you for all the efforts from the county. Councilwoman, I made a note here. Mr. Hodson, it was good to see you this evening. Haven't seen you around town in a while. Oh, I'm sorry. It was good to see you this evening. Haven't seen you around town in a while. Okay. No, I know. I haven't seen you in a while. Councilwoman, maybe who's our liaison to the Rena board?
Councilwoman, get the mic.
So what I would do is, so they get the announcements, see if you get flyers that when she goes to her meetings, maybe they could distribute, to some of the members in their building. And also they have the bulletin board that they could post.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
I know,
talked about that bulletin board. There's some little problems getting things posted up.
Okay.
there, but we'll work on it.
because
I'm working on communications brochure. too.
okay, good. Because I know at the Degnan House,
Yes.
that's what Miss Elenardi does. She gets everything out on
Right.
the bulletin board. So the residents, when they come down to get
Right.
their mail, they could see it. Always put it by the mailbox,
Mhm.
your flyers. Okay, great. With that, so just thank you, Mr. Fagan, for having those graphics for me. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, so finally it's here. Restaurant Week starts Saturday night. We're really excited. Downtown Alliance and the Public Relation Commissioners have been working really hard to sign our restaurants up. Just go to the website. It's also, you could get it through the app on, if you have Downtown West Orange app. And yeah, if you could come out and support our restaurateurs. We have restaurant seating, also a lot of the light bites and a lot of dessert and bakeries in town have participated. So really excited about the turnout. We're still getting specials in. We've been hoping they would have came last week, but we still have a few more that have to go up on the website. So yeah, please patronize, please support them. And we're asking folks, try to get us pictures and send them to downtown westorange.com. And we'll get them out. It's just all the social media. We're seeing great results in all of the efforts made by everyone. It's amazing. I learned a lot about hashtags and social media these past couple of years and the importance of that. And so it's very strategic with a lot of the marketing that we're doing, but we're seeing folks from out of the region come to West Orange to visit our businesses, and that's really exciting. And with that, we were able to have these 3 ribbon cuttings. We asked Castle Rock. I think we saw that last time, but that's okay. Great. Yeah. The old oak barrel, which you stayed at Mr. Fagan, and thank you. And Mr. Key was there to cheer them on, which was really, really awesome. And just, just to see this as an investor that lives here, but has other investors from out of town looking to invest in our downtown. Then next we have the Orange Sky Coffee Roasters. Ray and Trish are just awesome. They are from actually Bayonne, and just driving to a friend's house in West Orange. They just going down Main Street, just really got excited and wanted to invest in our community. And here they are. And they're took them a little bit to get things going, but if you look on the side of their building, if you go visit them, there's a beautiful mural on the side of the building, which they're going to do a patio on the left-hand side. And we always love some nice murals downtown because they're great picture opportunities that people like to post. And then we also have another great story from Montclair. Investor Ian, he needed a larger space, and he came to downtown West Orange, right across from Dangler's funeral parlor, across the street there. And what's great about Ian's story is he has a lot of clients from all over the area. And we met a lot of those folks on Saturday, and just telling them about the restaurants right down the street, the shake shop right down the street, and the juice shop rather. And they come, they bring the ones that drive their kids, the ones that just come here, they're gonna come and patronize other businesses. So it's a lot of strategic marketing we're doing. Also, our design team, I got to give a shout out to them, both with the West Orange Boxing Club and with Orange Sky Roasters. Their input with their signage and the just communications with the business owners. Same thing with Castle Rock with their signage. They're doing an awesome job with these designs and these signs and really just bringing just great excitement and the kind of graphics and design that just kind of brand our downtown. So everyone's doing a great job, and I appreciate all our commissioners for those outstanding efforts. And so again, I just hope you could come out and support next week. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Castellino. So Mr. Puglisi and Mr. Fagan, as always, thank you. I think Mr. Hotson's question was answered. I do look forward to supporting 119, Mr. Redwine. I want to thank you for your time and effort on the Environmental Commission and your leadership on this particular initiative. I'm also looking forward to supporting 117. It's been a long journey for the Gibbs, but here we are. So very much looking forward to taking that vote later on tonight. Planning Board met last week. We are currently reviewing and are almost done with the review of the Essex County Country Club Golf Course improvements. We also are in the process of approving our first cultivator. They are done with us for now, and they are now working with our professionals. So we should not be too long before we have another cannabis property opened up in town. And this is obviously much needed revenue for the town. The joint meeting will meet next week. And I think those are the only two that have announcements from my liaison report. So having said that, I think we're done. Yeah, we're not done.
Okay, so we're going to review the consent agenda. Approval of minutes of previous meeting, public meeting, and executive session of March 26, 2024.
Consent.
Report of township officers, none. Reading of petitions and communications and bids, none. Bills list for this evening.
Yeah, I could not get through all of those bills. I don't know how my colleagues feel about it.
Took me a while, but I did.
Yeah, all right. If you're satisfied with it, I'll just not voice my opinion because I don't have an opinion.
Consent?
Consent.
Okay, thank you. Resolutions, are any resolutions being pulled this evening?
You have a question on something or you have, I'm gonna pull to vote no. 124. 125.
Okay.
I've had some questions. I may have the answers reiterated for the benefit of the public. But right now I think that's good enough.
Okay.
Colleagues? Anything else being pulled?
I did want to pull 117-24, not to vote by any stretch of the imagination by no. I am absolutely supporting this, but I just wanted to pull it simply because I think it's worthy of all of our continued support. And if there's any additional comments, this is just a tremendous opportunity for our community, for the Gibbs family, Pure Natural Vibes, and I think it's just commendable. And I want to thank you all for your diligence, for your patience, and your persistence, because it's been a process for you all, but it's also been a process for us. And we appreciate you bringing your business and this opportunity to West Orange. I trust that you will be an excellent community partner. Thus far, you've been nothing but outstanding. And again, I just wanted to say thank you. And then I had a question or comment regarding 118-24. I don't want to pull it to vote no by any stretch of the imagination, but this is another vendor agreement that's effective January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2024. And just wanted to encourage the administration, if we can, to get these vendor agreements before they are actually implemented so that we can approve things before they actually go back and backdate. So that's just a comment, nothing to really pull. And then I had a question on 126-24. In this resolution, it refers to the municipality, and then identifies a village president. So just wanted to make sure that that wasn't oversight.
I think it should have been changed on the revised version that went around.
And my packet is still says, but if you corrected it, that's fine. I just wanted to bring that to your attention so it can be corrected if it hasn't. Okay. And that's all I have. Thank you.
I had a couple questions on 129-20. I guess we could hold it.
129.
24, the Colonial Woods.
Sure.
You're pulling 129?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Any others? All right, so before we are going further, I neglected to do something earlier. Councilwoman Deborah Michael is obviously not here tonight for the benefit of the public. She is recovering at home and unable to sit through the meeting tonight. She extends her regrets. I should have done it before we started the meeting. And I just simply forgot, so I apologize to her, and I certainly do want all of you to know why she's not here. She does expect to be back at our next meeting. Second thing, on 121 and 122, I requested the change order history for Greenman Peterson, specifically for 121, because I felt like the bid was low. And the response I got from the administration, which was very quick and thorough, was that there is no change order history for them. So I'm very pleased to hear that, which is why I didn't pull it. I just wanted to make that on the record before we went any further. Anything else before we go? Any other questions or anything else being pulled? All right, so Madam Clerk, just to review, I think we're pulling, Councilwoman Williams pulled 117.
Yes.
I pulled 124 and 125. Councilwoman Scarpa pulled 129.
Correct. That's what I have.
Okay.
I'm move for the consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is implemented. Resolution 117-24, resolution granting application for a local license to operate a cannabis retail business, Pure Natural Vibes. Councilwoman Williams, you pulled that.
Again, I did. I wanted to separate it out so that we could again, and I've already issued my comments. Thank you very much. I think this is worthy of just being identified separately, independently, and congratulations to you all.
Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second. And you could say,
All right.
Councilwoman Castellino,
yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
The motion is carried.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. How long before you all open? How long before you all get open?
Do you want to bring them up?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay, okay.
The first one.
Yeah.
That'll be the first one.
Resolution 124-24, resolution of the West Orange Council requesting that the law firms of Genova Burns and Jardim, Meisner, Salmon, Sprague, and Susser provide a specific detailed budget as to the cost to be incurred in concluding litigation in Ray Township of West Orange, docket number ESXL 004687-23. Council President Rutherford, you pulled this.
I pulled it because I find this, one, it doesn't cover what we discussed in our executive session. Two, it's not accurately written. And three, it seems to be embedded with politics rather than the actual business. This is laughable to me. I've already expressed that to the administration. When we met in executive session, we discussed whether or not we would appeal the injunctive relief. Majority of the town council agreed to appeal. That appeal is moving forward. This does none of that. What was requested in the executive session was a not to exceed clause to be placed in the resolution that authorized us to continue paying the Genova Burns firm for representation in the appeal. This resolution doesn't address that at all. It says that the mayor's attorney spent approximately $10,000. It contrasts that with the $65,000 that our attorney has charged. I'm not sure if the 65 is accurate. I'm sure the 10,000 is not accurate. And I think what is done, the attempt there is to try and impress upon the public somehow the council is spending money irresponsibly. Just want to remind everybody that we are in this litigation because the mayor sued the town council. We're still in this litigation because when the council made a good faith offer to the mayor in mediation to settle this, it was rejected out of hand. It was not negotiated. There was not a single counterpoint offered. So we're in this because the mayor decided to sue the town council. I'm grateful that my two colleagues decided to pursue the appeal along with myself, Councilwoman Scarpa and Councilwoman Geber Michael, because it is, and the public should know this, what we are dealing with now is year 2 of paying a firm that does not have a contract. That is the only firm we are paying that does not have a contract. There are some laws, some rules around paying firms without a contract in emergency circumstances, and under a certain dollar amount. We have a qualified purchasing agent in West Orange, so that dollar amount is somewhere around $44,000. But this particular firm, the law firm of Mr. Trigg, has now billed us over $500,000 without a contract. That has to stop. And the judicial branch cannot instruct and direct the legislative branch to, in an open-ended fashion, continue to operate in contradiction, in violation of or to both the Faulkner Act and local public contracts law. So it is regrettable that this resolution is written this way. I pulled it to vote no. Colleagues, I'm sure someone would like to weigh in. Who would like to go first?
Okay,
Councilwoman
Councilman,
Cassidy.
yeah, but we disagree on this topic. So again, my sentiments are last year ago. Let's go back to the it's not almost 2 years, year and a half ago. Council in January unanimously voted Mr. Trank to be our law director. A few months later, the majority of the council voted not to reappoint his firm. And that's where the disagreement started within the council and the administration. This led all the way up to last summer, around that time, I guess, where this council was not approving anything with Mr. Trank's name or his firm on it. Government was not moving. And that's my recap of the events, as you will. And so therefore, the mayor placed yes, she did start the suit based on that. We just weren't moving government. We had the budget coming up. We had a few other items that we didn't get to. So then at that point in time, we sat with the judge and the judge ordered status quo that Mr. Trigg's firm stays along with him. So as far as improprieties, we had a judge order status quo. And then this recent judgment that came out, again, the same 32-page document that, if you get a chance to look online, was thoughtfully written out by the judge. So with that being said, I know we have a disagreement. I know there's monies, there's supposed to be capped. So what we did discuss is that we'd cap it at 25,000. I did not want to even go a nickel further. I was hoping the council and the administration could come to some kind of an agreement with one another. And so therefore, I'm not supporting any more monies being ordered for this. I'm hoping that my colleagues and the administration could settle this amicably. So that's my sentiments on this, how I see it play out. And just so you know, also, so many times, the judge made an order. If you read through the document, there's layman's terms, it's pretty much past practice. This council for 25 years had approved the attorney with their firm. And even the majority of this council had made those approvals in years past, up until last year. So with that, judge took that into consideration from what I read in the document. And again, we unanimously voted to have Mr. Trank be the law director. So with that, Council President, I know we disagree. I just wanted to lay my side out, so I appreciate that. And that's it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So I too have expressed some frustration and disappointment that we are in this litigation. Not certain why we would doubt the amount of the bills that are identified in the resolution. Those are the bills that have been received thus far. I think it is a poor use of taxpayer dollars to continue litigating this lawsuit. The judge has come back with an injunctive relief that was awarded to the mayor to continue business as usual. Again, we diverge on how we got here. During that time from March up until almost the middle of June, the majority of the council was refusing to vote on any resolutions and or ordinances that were prepared by our legal department. There have been a lot of statements that have been made about the assistant township attorney, what he may have done right, wrong, or indifferent. There's been accusations that some of his guidance and direction that was given inappropriately was intentional. Again, this is not the best use of taxpayer dollars and the resources that we have available. Whether it's 65,000, 75,000, that's still a salary in West Orange from some administrator who we so desperately need to help run some of these departments. Therefore, based on the decision of the judge, it is injunctive relief. She does have the opportunity to come back and render a final decision. It's not necessary that we spend any amount of money to appeal a decision that the judge has come back and said, when she gets to it, she'll get to it. It's not a priority. It's not a life and death situation. It is governance. And, one of the things that I'm most disappointed about is that we won't even go back to the table and try to negotiate. That we are the governing body, we determine and dictate how our resources are allocated. And there's a refusal to go back and see if we can come to any type of terms. Irregardless of what has happened in the past, doesn't mean that we can predict or should be trying to predict the future. We really should be trying to work this out to try and minimize the impact on the taxpayer dollar, my taxpayer dollars. I live here, I own a home. I don't want to waste money on this. I want us to move forward as a body, do good government for the residents of West Orange. And when the judge decides that she will render a different decision, then we receive that in whatever time frame she decides is appropriate. And that's my assessment, and that's how I feel about this. May I continue?
Thought you were finished.
As far as the resolution that we discussed, someone should have contacted the legal department so that resolution could have been prepared. I don't know if that was done, and if it has not been done, then my question will become, we did get a filing from our attorney representing the council who gave him authorization to file an appeal if we haven't even done a resolution. It is my understanding that we still have to do things in public. Certainly we meet about things in private if it's litigation, which this is, and we continue to discuss this litigation that's pending publicly. I question that because that, again, is not our practice. We should not be discussing open pending litigation. We felt comfortable enough to do it, and we've continued to do it. But again, somebody should have contacted our legal representative and said for him to either move forward, and then we should now have a resolution saying what we, agreed upon in that meeting. Thank you.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yeah, thanks. I really feel that checks and balances are important in government. And the council has that responsibility. And it is important and very necessary that we are respected when we make a judgment or determination. And so for that reason, and for the merits of the case, I believe the appeal needs to go forward. I am very concerned about the amount of money we're spending. In fact, I was the one who asked that we put the $25,000 cap on it. So I would like to see all that in writing, and so I would also vote no.
Thank you, Councilwoman. For the benefit of the public, and I'm not going to litigate this stuff here. I don't know that anyone has questioned someone's intentions. I think the advice that we've gotten, both from our town attorney and our assistant attorney, has been poor and provably so. I do want to say, for the benefit of the residents, there is no refusal on my part, at least, to negotiate or to work things out with the mayor. But what I've said to my colleagues is that I think it's important for us to move forward with the appeal, regardless of whether we try to negotiate or settle. And that's exactly what I'd like to do. Now, I do think the councilwoman asked a good question. Councilwoman Williams, why don't we have a resolution memorializing it? This resolution that is here does not. This resolution was something that someone decided they wanted to put on for what has to be political purposes. But it does not memorialize what we did in the executive session. I contacted the attorney and let him know the result of the vote. I did expect to have a resolution that would memorialize what we had. I don't know why we don't. And my question is, when will we?
What attorney did you contact to let them know what happened in the executive session?
I've not contacted Mr. Trink or Mr. Gingaro on any of these legal matters. And this is not the first time we would have had to have had a resolution. So I didn't contact them for the first one. I don't know who is supposed to contact them to have them write a resolution memorializing what we agreed on.
Well, you have to let somebody know. So whether it be Chief Abbott or Mr. Smeraldo or Mr. Trang.
Okay,
But they were not aware, so how could they put a resolution? They just weren't aware.
okay. So Mr. Abbott, you didn't know the result of the vote from the executive session?
I heard informally of the 3-2 vote to move forward with it, but I wasn't asked by anybody to have a resolution drafted to move forward.
Mr. Gingaro, were you aware of the vote from the executive session?
I was not, and
Okay, just,
as an added point too, in order to have something be put on the agenda for legislation, it's either got to be voted on 3-2 at the council meeting, or somebody has to contact administration and the mayor has to decide to tell legal to put it on.
yeah. So we may be able to bring it up tonight with Councilwoman Geber Michael absent. We may not be able to bring it up in new business tonight. But I've not made a single request, and I want to say this for the benefit of the public. I've not made a single request of anyone to make a resolution with regard to any of the legal matters that any of the resolutions that have memorialized the legal issues that we have with the mayor right now, not a single time. So, but I'm happy to make that formal request. I'm doing so right now. I'd like to have the resolution memorializing our intent to move forward with the appeal with a not to exceed clause of $25,000 for our attorney, Angelo Genova of Genova Burns. I'd like that put on for our next council meeting.
I believe that needs to be voted
Again,
on,
it
correct?
needs to be voted on 3-2, or the mayor has to.
Well, I'm
Well,
asking
no.
the administration to do it because we won't get a 3-2 vote tonight. I'm not gonna introduce it knowing that it's not gonna pass. It's gonna end up in a 2-2 tie.
I will certainly discuss it with the mayor, but
Thank you.
in the end, it's going to be her decision, just to be
Okay.
clear.
So then even if I had requested that the resolution would be on, then it still might not be on, is what I'm hearing.
In order to get the resolution on the agenda, you need a 3-2 vote at new business, or the mayor needs to ask the legal department to put it on. It's in the ordinance.
I understand the process. Mr. Abbott's response to me, reading the context clues, says that the mayor may decide not to put it on.
That's the mayor's prerogative under our form of government.
I get it. I get it. I just want that out there in the public. So even if I had, and given that the mayor put on the resolution to have us to have us withdraw from the litigation, as well as have her withdraw from the litigation. All right, I think that's enough of that. So I've beaten this horse enough. I am not going to move this forward. Maybe one of you would like to.
Is there a motion to approve 12424?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Just let me read it again for a second.
Sure.
So all it's saying is they want a budget and a cap. From the administration's point of view, they want a budget
And I think that's correct.
and a cap. Yeah, I don't, well, we're doing that anyway, so I don't think that's an issue. All right, I'm gonna second.
Okay. Councilwoman Castellino to approve.
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
No.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
No,
Motion fails.
thank you, Madam Clerk. 125.
12524, resolution authorizing execution of professional services agreement with PKF O'Connor Davies for financial services pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement. Council President Rutherford.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And I think the exhibit was given to us tonight. I'm not sure. No, it's 120.
No, that was 126.
So I recognize that, and I want to thank Mr. Abbott for his responses to me on the questions I had with regard to why we needed to have them here. I recognize that the resignation of one of our outstanding, if newer employees, Stephanie Santana, I understand that poses a problem. My challenge with approving this is, I don't know, I think part of, I don't know what our succession planning is there. I don't know how this work is going to be managed on a long-term basis. And I don't even know if that's been brought up. Now, it's not my job to require Mr. Gross to do any of that. But I'm not willing to vote in someone on a contract basis to do what should be done by a town hall employee without any understanding of what our long-term responsibility is going to be and what our long-term plan is. So, I pulled this to vote no. I wasn't sure I would vote no earlier. Actually, I thought after your explanation that I might vote yes. But after thinking about it more and acknowledging that we need to invest more in our town hall employees, as well as have a strategy around getting some of this work done, I'm not comfortable adding a contractor. I think that might allow us to do some things over a longer period of time than I think they should be. So that's my reason. I think we do need help. And I do encourage the finance department, particularly Mr. Gross, to be intentional about bringing someone in. And also perhaps looking at other folks in town hall, whatever his, best options are. But a contractor, I think, is not the right way to go. So,
I have a question.
sure, Councilwoman.
So I'm confused. I gotta be honest with you, because I didn't call in on this. I thought this was for, as I'm reading the agenda says one thing. Isn't this for the auditor for
No.
auditing?
This is for accounting and other services. So they have responded, and appropriately so, and have gone through the normal process to be able to do this work, which is my understanding, Councilwoman.
Okay, I got you.
So,
now.
but this is not for Sam Klein is the one for the auditor. I don't think he was pulled. So that one's done, right? Yeah.
Okay, so my question so here's. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Council President because my issue with this is. How long is this for? Like, you have plans on hiring a
So-
replacement? Because I think there should be a person there. We should just not rely on this, on a firm. I could see you in a,
There will
a
be,
glitch.
there will be a search and intention to hire somebody to fill that position. You know, Stephanie Santana was part of the succession plan. We didn't intend that she was going
You know, I
to go
know.
to a neighboring town and, you know, there was an opportunity that came up. We wish her,
Sure, yeah.
wish her well. That being said, we need to have somebody here that, you know, knows where the light switch is, knows where the bathroom is, you know, we're talking about making payroll, paying our employees, paying our vendors. We've got nobody here right now. Mr. Gross took ill today. Hopefully he'll be back soon. I don't know that, and he's intended on retiring probably around August from what he says. So, you know, we really need to have some level of continuity.
Has there been a proposal out for?
So
for
when,
her
when,
job?
when, PKF O'Connor Davies applied for auditor, it's also for other financial services.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
good faith, we put Samuel Klein up because council did not want them to be the auditor. So we put a whole nother auditor up. All we're looking for PKF is to do our financial assistance, the day-to-day operations until we can hire an employee, but that's not gonna happen overnight. There's nobody in-house that we can move up to that position. Nobody's got you know, Stephanie was taking her exams for CFO.
Yeah.
There's nobody in that lane. So we're gonna have to go outside the way we found her. She worked in Jersey City
Right.
and John found her and interviewed her, but that's not gonna happen overnight. You know, that's gonna take some time.
So see, I'm kind of struggling here because I know this position's hard to fill. And I know they're not gonna hire somebody overnight, but has anything been posted yet for the job? I mean,
Stephanie just gave us 2 weeks' notice and left Friday. I mean, this
I know.
isn't like we had much
Well,
time to
well,
plan this.
yeah, I know, but there should have been a posting like a week ago for the job.
That's great, but you know,
Yeah.
it's basically me and John, you know, it's not like we've got these big staffs to do all these things, so.
No,
we're-
But to your point, one second, Mr. Smardo, and I do want to hear from you as well. But to your point, I think that's part of the problem. I think we are concentrating too much work in the hands of too few people. And then when situations like this come up, we're not prepared. We don't have folks to fill in the gaps. You know, we've got to build a stronger bench. That's just a philosophy around how we run town hall. I know we're coming into the budget and I'm happy to see at least the preliminary numbers on the budget, but I think that approach to doing the business, concentrating multiple roles and fewer people, not replacing people when they retire or move on, and doing more with less has led us to a point where we're operating literally at the bone. There's no fat to cut and there's no more meat. We're at the bone. And so then we end up doing a Band-Aid, which, you know, and this is no slight to PKF O'Connor Davies. They have an outstanding reputation in spite of the individual that showed up in our council meeting that, you know, caused all of this, you know, this part of it. They have an outstanding reputation. This is no slight to them at all. It is really that I think the approach to solving the problem, I think it's the wrong approach. I think we've got to do more to highlight those that are already in town hall, create new opportunities there, and find ways to invite more folks into some of these leadership roles, so that so much isn't concentrated. I mean, Mr. Gross, you know, God bless him, he's got his hands on almost everything in town. That is just too much for any one role. And that then you end up with a situation like this. So I think what I hope we do at least with my no vote, whether it passes or not is another story, but at least with my no vote is send a message loud and clear that we have to do that kind of work differently, attracting, growing, maintaining our workforce in town hall, providing opportunities for upward mobility, and opening up some of the leadership positions that have been concentrated in the hands of a few. Councilwoman, did you have anything else you wanted to say before I moved on to?
I mean, I'm willing to do this with a shorter term on the contract. I mean, this goes through December 31st. I would hope you'd be able to hire somebody within a month or two.
Well, they're only going to be paid for whatever work they perform. There's a scale of hourly wages for what level of person interacts with us and what they do.
That wasn't in the new resolution, though. That was in the original one, but it wasn't in this one. When I compared the two and the
Yeah.
other change from the original resolution that was presented to us in January,
It's right
Yeah.
there. Partner, 275 an hour, manager, senior manager, 185.
it's on page 2 at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, on the back, on the bottom. So can we go through, well, you can't really shorten it. I guess you gotta talk to them. I'm,
Again, if you hire somebody, then you just don't use this, so.
yeah, I get it.
Really wouldn't matter if it went till December or not.
Well, I just want to encourage you to, try to get,
If I can.
yeah.
Mr. Smaraldo, sorry, I
So-
forgot.
So one of the responsibility roles I've been doing is actively engaging in hiring personnel. And it takes on average 4 to 6 weeks
Yeah.
to hire a clerk. And no, this is entry level. We're looking for people, the right people to do a job. This position here, we're trying to fill 2 positions now.
It's highly skilled.
Is a higher skill that we need to really vet. And I know how to vet people from coming into the job, but we need somebody like John, somebody like, whether it be O'Connor Davies or somebody like that else to help us vet the right person to come to the job. And these people are intimate with our finances, and they would be able to do that succession plan with the new employees, that are the new CFO and the new deputy administrator of finances. We have very skillful people. We have very dedicated people. We just don't have people who have that particular skill set to take over the CFO or the licenses. So what we're asking for is, if you consider this, as Mr. Abbott said, to do it on a timely basis, we train our new employees, our new staff. We advertise, we vet, and we present. And then at this point, whether it be December, November, October, whatever the case may be, we need help, and we're asking you to assist us in helping stabilize finances. That's really what it comes down to, the crux of this.
I think at the end of the day, what you're asking for, and certainly I understand that what we're asking for is critical in how we function and how we move the community forward and our administration. But at the end of the day, I don't think it'd be fair or reasonable for us to handicap the administration by voting no. They're clearly identifying and telling us that they need
Yeah.
help and support. So I'm very comfortable in making sure we, as the governing body, give them what they need to get the job done. We're grateful that the preliminary budget has been, disseminated to us, but we also know that cannot continue and or be sustained if we don't have the support staff to do that. And just like earlier today, when I happened to come by for other business, I saw Mr. Gross. He was not well. And, at the end of the day, I think this is a tough job in government and administration. And we've had 2 long-term serving members of our administration who are no longer with us. We cannot ignore that it may have been stress. It just may have been stress that added to whatever mental and physical ailments that they have had. So for that reason alone, you're telling me this is what we need to get the job done. I support that. I believe that you know better. You're there. You do this in and out every day. And I don't hesitate to give you what you need to get our town moving forward.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yeah, I've been concerned for a while, Mr. Gross has kind of a unique approach to budgeting, that is not easy for the average person to wrap their arms around. And I really think we need to get somebody in there as soon as possible. We should have started a while ago, getting the right staff in there to work on the budget in the finance department. I was planning on voting no, but I do understand that there really may be a need to support him a bit more, and I would be open to voting yes if we could make it for like 60 days, 30 or 60 days, so that there is more of a.
I'm not very optimistic we will have an assistant CFO hired in 30 to 60 days.
That's that's right, but at least we have a goal that we're working towards.
Yeah,
We
but
could-
it's.
That's not realistic, Councilwoman. He just gave you a timeline of just hiring a basic entry-level employee. If, again, if Mr. Smeraldo is actively trying.
Councilwoman, please wait to be acknowledged. Thank you. Is that what you?
That's what I would agree to, but otherwise I'll vote no.
Got it. Councilwoman Williams?
Thank you. Mr. Smeraldo has given us a timeline for a basic entry-level employee. He already identified that it's no less than 4 to 6 weeks. This is a highly specialized and skilled position. And again, I think we're doing our community a disservice if the administration is telling us what they need and we're gonna say no. I don't understand the logic.
Is that it? Councilwoman?
So I hear you with a time limit on it, but here's the issue. It's gonna take them. They go out, they post it, they get somebody in, they're up and running. Even if we get somebody in within 2 months. You're also gonna have that learning curve with the new person here. And that's gonna take a month or two. So I mean, I'm a little hesitant with the end of the year. But as long as the job is being posted and we're seeing, like, I don't want to put them in a situation just to hire somebody just for the sake of hiring them also, because that's whole nother problem. Because you're giving them that kind of short time frame. So they may come along and just hire somebody that's not qualified enough for the position either, just because they're going to be without services. So I think we got to be reasonable. I'm okay because this does expire December 31st. We don't have to go further than that. But I think I'd like to know when the job is getting posted and whatnot. And did Mr. Gross put his papers in yet for his retirement?
He's not, not that I'm aware of. Not that he has not, not that I'm aware of that he posted. He has indicated to all that he's looking at summer. He has not given us a definitive date.
Okay.
One of the things I do want to add while the microphone, just to help you out, Councilwoman, is that one of the skills that we require of our chief financial officers, they have to have the certified municipal finance officer license. Currently, there's 564 communities in the state of New Jersey. I think that's the number. There's only about 200 CMFOs in the entire state. We're required by law to have one. So for us to just go out and find somebody, this is a very highly
100%.
technical skill. So I would ask for your consideration longer than 60 days, because if Mr. Gross, just to say for argument's sake, he is leaving August 1st, we find somebody for August 1st. That person still needs to learn, even with that 60 days, that would take us to October 1st. So all we're asking for is your consideration that if we keep, and according to what Mr. Abbott said here, this is for fee service. So if our new CFO is comfortable, say by October 1st, 15th, or whatever, we can end a contract with that particular vendor. I believe says December until the end of the year, December 31st. If we're talking October 15th, we're really only talking 6 more weeks of the remainder of the year. So that's why we're asking for your consideration.
Mr. Smeraldo, so, or Mr. Rabbit, so this is not to fill the gap created by, the leaving of, Stephanie Santana. This is to help with the transition of the CFO as well?
This is a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. This is for our whole finance team.
So to get back to the original problem, Mr. Gross has not put in his paperwork to retire.
I don't know that.
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, not that I'm aware of either.
We're not aware of it, but he has intended
He
to.
said just the other day that he intends on leaving probably by August 1st.
Right, in the original, when he first started saying it was June, right, and now it's August, and so I'm still not moved. I want to point out one thing though. I do appreciate, Mr. Smeraldo, your willingness, and you as well, Councilwoman Castellino, your willingness to acknowledge. Councilwoman Scarpa said, if you want me to vote for this, this is what I need. So I will tell you, I will support you in your 60-day request. If you offer that amendment, I will second it. I don't know that it'll pass. But before you do, I think the process of getting these things done, especially in a night where we're down a council person. So you guys are gonna need 3 votes to get a yes, or 3 votes to get a no. They're gonna have to be 3 on one side or the other. Otherwise, actually, no. It could end up a 2-2 and still fail, right? There has to be some willingness to move. If 60 days, I would have appreciated it if 60 days wasn't enough, say 75 days or 90 days, or offer a counter. You did say 4 to 6 weeks for entry level, and I understand the difficulty with hiring senior financial professionals in municipalities, and it's not a new issue. It's something that we've been dealing with in the state of New Jersey for some time. But we do find them. They are out there. Accommodations sometimes are made with, intermediate contracts until final licensing is received. As long as you have, John is still here. I mean, there are things that can be done. But it's either exactly what we have on this resolution or nothing. That kind of approach for me is going to just be a no. I'm going to be a no. Now, if you want to try and persuade us that maybe some additional time is warranted and helpful, that might be able to get at least one council person to a yes, which is what you need. So if 60 days is not enough, is 75 days enough? Is 90 days enough?
Listen, I'll take whatever I can get. If it's 90 days, I'll
We're
take
asking
90
for your
days.
help, Council. Whatever it takes for you to pass it to help us out. We're laying out the facts to you how we see it, and how whatever you tell us, we will abide by it. I mean, that's how we're supposed to work this. And I'm just laying out from my experience what I know I'm going to have to do, and with the chief's experience here through the past. We're just advising you as to what we think is most needed here. That's all.
And I understand, and I do appreciate that. And in the back, I think of all of our minds are, the folks in the office that are gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do in the meantime if this doesn't pass. So we do understand the
Yeah.
gravity. Just want to make sure that we're more intentional about a long-term approach to this thing. Councilwoman Scarpa, were you done, or did you want to say anything else on
I have
that?
an amendment.
Councilwoman Williams?
Like to amend the timeframe to a 90 days. Is there anyone who would agree with me there?
I'll agree with that.
Thank you. Is that a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. So if we can on the amendment to 90 days.
You have to take the vote on the amendment
Yeah,
first.
so I want to say something after we vote on it.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Rutherford?
Yes.
Thank you.
On the amendment, and then if necessary,
well-
after 90 days, can you all come back and let us know if we're still having some challenges? But can we do that before we get to the 90-day timeline so that it hits the agenda in a timely basis so that we're not backdating it if possible? Thank you.
Councilwoman Castellino.
That was my concern. I don't want to just be sitting here and having this exercise in 90 days from now. So we could have, again, no fault of yours because you were hit with this 2 weeks ago. But if we could have an update as to how you're progressing way before then, thank
On
you.
the resolution with the amendment, we have to vote?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve with
So
the
moved.
amendment? Is there a second?
Yes.
Second.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Council President Rutherford?
Yes.
The motion carries. Okay. 12924, resolution authorizing professional services agreement with GPI for expert engineering consultation pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement. Councilwoman Scarpa, you pulled this.
Yeah, I had a couple questions on this. I know this goes back quite a while. And I know that the trees were decimated up here. And I wanted to know, is there a tree replacement plan and have they complied? Have they complied with the tree replacement plan? And, I wanted to know a little bit more about this.
Yeah, this is Colonial Woods. They have not complied with the tree replacement plan. They're
So-
still in process.
Mr. Yaro?
Correct.
Yeah, if I may, there was an order to show cause filed by RNC developers against the township for the return of their performance guarantee. Without going into any detail, because it's ongoing litigation, this resolution relates to hiring expert services related to that litigation.
Understood. Can I ask a question regarding that? I'm sorry,
ahead.
Councilwoman Scarpa? Okay, so with regard to that performance bond, how much is the performance bond and in what form is it?
So again, it's ongoing litigation, so I'm hesitant to speak to it. If you want, what I propose is that we put up a resolution, in the next council meeting, go into executive session.
Mhm.
Happy to discuss there, but
I'd like to discuss it more. I'd like to do that.
So do you want to table this?
Yeah.
Is that your recommendation?
Is there a time constraint on this if we were to table?
To the next meeting and just learn more about it. Also, is,
Tonight, can we talk about it tonight?
It hasn't been announced, it hasn't.
So I second the table.
Discuss it in executive session.
If we go into executive session to discuss.
They have 4 votes.
Would you, are you ready? Are you prepared to discuss it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I can always call it too.
Sure. Okay. That's an option, council, if you wanted to make a motion to add a resolution to go into executive session
So
for
moved.
this purpose.
For this purpose, to discuss this resolution 129-24.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay,
So we could get it over with tonight.
okay, so Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay.
All right, do we want to do the executive session now? You want to get through the?
The meeting and
Get
then
through the rest of the-
executive session
doing
at the end.
Yeah, in case any people from the public want to talk on the
First and second
page,
reading?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir. 2845-24, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7, Traffic, subsection 7-13, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets, and subsection 7-32.2, restricted parking zones of the revised general ordinances of West Orange, 15 High Street, 14 Washington Street, 16 Llewellyn Avenue, and 77 Kirk Street. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
Second,
Okay. Councilwoman Castellino,
yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay, it's the time for public hearing.
Does anyone in the public want to address us on ordinance 2845, which amends restricted parking zones on High Street, Washington Street, Llewellyn Avenue, and Kirk Street? Seeing none, public comment is closed.
Is there any discussion amongst the council?
I move for adoption on second and final reading.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay. 2847-24, an ordinance.
2847.
Yeah, I gave you an amended agenda. 2846 it's a chapter 25 ordinance, must be reviewed by the planning board prior to approval by the council, and that will occur on April 17th.
Gotcha.
So that was moved to the next agenda.
Yep.
Can I ask a question about that?
You can do whatever you like.
So the last meeting, the ordinance that we had in our packet, is that what the planning board is reviewing, or did they,
The
That
one
is-
that you approved on first reading.
that we said that needed amendments?
That is, and the planning board is going to meet, I can't remember when, sometime in the next 2 weeks. 17th. Yeah, because I checked it, but I put it on for April 17th.
It is April 17th.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, it is April 17th.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And
then,
then I had it right. Okay.
thank you. And then the second part of my question was there any kind of time of the assessment matter with grants? We had asked that to reach out to the grant writer. Was there any kind of issue?
Waiting for a response from the grant writer. Just reached back out again today. And then with regard to the attorney over at the League of Municipalities, I left a message last week and yesterday with whoever the attorney was on the website there.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna keep following up until I get a hold of him. So I don't mind calling every day. It's not gonna bother me. So
Okay,
I'll get old.
okay, great, thank you.
Okay, moving on. 2847-24, an ordinance supplementing chapter 14 and establishing a section for lead-based paint hazard inspection requirements for rental dwellings to the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange, lead-based paint hazard inspection requirements for rental dwellings. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final?
Second.
Okay. Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay.
We will now open for public comment. If there's anyone present that would like to comment on 2847 lead-based paint hazard inspection requirements for rental dwellings, now is your chance. Seeing none, public comment is now closed.
Council discussion?
Move for the adoption of 2847 on second and final reading.
Is there,
Second.
thank you. Councilwoman Castellino,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinances on first reading, 2848-24, an ordinance amending chapter 5, section 34.2, 34.4, 34.5, and chapter 25, section 24.2 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange, licensed cannabis entities. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Castellino
Um,
to introduce.
so I'm not gonna support this, but I do want to have conversation on it, so I guess I'm going to I don't know what to do, because it's first reading, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because we have to address a couple things on this. So yes.
Yes. Councilwoman Scarpa,
No.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries.
Okay, so, oh, Council President had the floor. So here's my issue. I know this is gonna move forward, and the reason why I'm not supporting it, because I don't think we should have the added cultivators that were in this ordinance. But I want to ask the council, and I had a talk with Mr. Moon today, where I asked him to look into a couple of things. At the planning board meeting the other night, I watched it, and I know the investor is very sincere with the equipment that they're getting for the smell. However, I'd feel better if we had something in this ordinance that makes there be some kind of mechanism in place to make it more accountable for these entities for the smell. And I know the planning board attorney, she was on the cuff. So I think if we research it enough, I know this is all new. And we could look into see what other towns are doing, but the feedback that I get is, they may not smell every day, but you will get an odor. And I just want to make sure that we protect the neighborhood, because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, because we're not a large industrial site that's, out a few miles out of town, we're right here, and you have an apartment building and a park right across the street. I really want to make sure that we have protections in this ordinance to make sure that any investor has a certain amount of days to remedy the issue and whatnot. My family, and just again, I'm not being difficult with this. My family had a home across the street from the recycling center for many years. So, you may say only smells here and there, but when you're living there and it smells even once a week, it's annoying. And some days you don't go out and have that barbecue for dinner because you're smelling, there's an odor. So I think we really have to make sure we do all we can to protect the neighborhoods, especially when we're putting something in a neighborhood.
I share your concern, Councilwoman. Well, first, anyone else want to, Councilwoman Williams and then Councilwoman Scarpa?
Thank you. I agree too. I've mentioned it in the past that I believe that we need to have some additional odor mitigation procedures in. I made reference to any type of complaint. Any of the cultivating entities have a 30-day time period to remedy that. and, have to deal with some type of penalty, whether it be closure or something. I am also in agreement, that if the cultivators or whether it be a cultivator, any entity, if odor becomes a challenge or a problem, then they have to be responsible neighbors, community partners, and mitigate that nuisance. And it is indeed a nuisance. We know that. Everybody does not want to walk around and smell the odor of cannabis. And I certainly would not, if I had small children, want them to have to be subjected to that odor as well. So I'm in agreement with you. And I think that is something that we do need to include. I was comfortable with the planning board issuing that type of restriction and or regulation. But if you believe that it's something that we as a council need to insert into the ordinance, I'm comfortable doing that as well. But I do agree. I do think it's a problem, and I do think it's something that the businesses should be required to mitigate if it becomes a nuisance.
I think
Councilman Clark?
I think I've made my position clear many times. I don't believe this belongs in a residential neighborhood. And I believe we're exploiting the children and the families in that neighborhood, and I'm going to vote no.
Thank you, colleagues. I think part of the challenge we have with the odor in particular, it's difficult to mandate a particular level of equipment. One, because things change all the time. And it's kind of hard to say you got to buy a particular piece of equipment. So that was one of the challenges we ran into. The chair of the planning board, I think he sent it to everybody, but I know he sent it to me. Some suggestions on odor already, and the planning board is certainly going to take this up. But the challenges with the odor, we don't have a mechanism to measure. We have no way to objectively say this is the level of odor. And then once you reach a certain level, then you have to remedy it. So like from our standpoint, the challenge is how do we legislate that with, it's similar to the sound ordinance. We have a sound noise ordinance.
Yeah, that's real hard. There's a machine,
We don't have the machine. And now we can get that machine. There is a machine to get. In this case, there, as far as I'm aware, and what's been shared with me so far, and maybe you guys know something different than I do, which is fine. But from what I understand, there is no machine that we can get that will measure smell.
So excuse, can I
Yeah.
jump in? Thank you, Council President. So I've neglected to mention or forgot for a brief minute. So Mr. Moon was gonna reach out to Mr. DeFeo because there are odors and, to see how they're handling the recycling center, to see if he can, how we can incorporate in here. So I was gonna recommend also that until we get a little resolve, do we move
So the
forward on
challenge
second
with
reading?
that part though, Councilman, and I met with Mr. DeFeo at the recycling center to go through that exact issue. They use an outdoor sprayer, which is like, for lack of a better term, Febreze on steroids. It eats up the smell, and it also has a pleasant smell, right? It has a perfume as well.
Okay.
So it chews up whatever the smell is in the air, but it also then leaves a fragrance behind, right? So it attacks the smell two ways. That is not something you can use indoors. And I don't think cultivators would be able to.
No, not
use
indoors.
those
I
kind
wonder
of-
if there's something outside.
Yes. So, I mean, I understand, and I think we do want to. So this is a genuine concern, and I think we are all concerned about protecting the community in which this is located, at least the one that is in the process so far is located. There have been some conditions with regard to the air handling systems that were discussed at the last planning board meeting that the owner agreed to and still has to work through the process with our professionals to comply. I expect that because these are such, valuable businesses that whatever the issue is, they're going to want to rectify it right away. No one wants to lose a month or 2 months or 3 months worth of sales because they didn't address an odor issue. But that's not in this. We can still, and again, I think we're going to continue to update the ordinance over the course of time. The things that we did agree to are in this ordinance. And those are the changes that we've agreed to thus far. If you want to add additional ones down the road, I'm happy to. I think our colleagues would support that as well. But what we've updated in here was agreed upon by this body, and I think that part should go forward, even if we make some additional changes down the road.
I have a comment.
Yes, Councilman.
Thank you. So just to add some additional color to the comments that have been made, there are some mitigating strategies that can be implemented and utilized. As I had an opportunity to visit the facility down in Lambertville, I asked those specific questions. That is a full-scale facility, and they had at no less than 8 HVAC systems to mitigate odor. I think that there can be requirements implemented by this body to suggest that whatever type of filtration system you have, that it do be closed loop, that it not filtrate the odor back out into the atmosphere, exterior atmosphere. That is one of the mitigating remedies to keep that odor down. In addition to that, if we identify that there is odor, I don't necessarily believe it's important to measure the level of odor. I think it's important to understand that if there is an odor, it doesn't matter how strong or weak it is, we should not smell cannabis as we're walking down the street. And I think if that presents itself as a challenge for any of the entities, an easy solution would be to require them within a specific time period to mitigate it. And if it means they have to buy additional HVAC equipment or whatever is necessary, they have to comply. And I think that's something that we can mandate.
Mr. Gengaro, do you have any recommendations?
Well, let me also ask Mr. Gengaro, is it a requirement of the CRC for cultivators to have closed loop, as Councilwoman Williams called it? I don't, where
I
they.
didn't say it was a requirement. I'm just giving you an example of what is at that facility.
She characterized it as a closed loop. Is there a requirement from the CRC for those HVAC units to not circulate the air outside of the building? It's my understanding that the one we have before us now has multiple levels of air filtration. There's air filtration in each room where they grow, and that air does not exit the room. They have a system over the door that forces air down whenever the door is open to prevent odor from escaping from the door out into the corridor. And then they have an HVAC system for outside of the grow rooms that has a charcoal filter and all of the other things on it that scrubs the air as well. Now, I know that that's what they're doing. My question is that a requirement? If it's not a requirement, then we can talk about what the councilwoman suggested.
So I don't know off the top of my head. I'm happy to take a look at it, and I can talk to Mr. Moon about it too, and we can get you an answer to that. No problem.
So please circulate to us what the requirements are for the air handling. And then we can decide if we want to be more stringent. Yes, ma'am.
So one other factor that I discussed with Mr. Moon was that, these are on a yearly basis.
Mhm.
So my concern was, if they have an issue with an odor, then you don't renew them in a year. And I shared with him, and I'll share with all of you. I mean, we handle ABC matters all the time, and it's very hard to, once you give that license to, you do have a small issue or a larger issue that you want to move forward with. So I don't want to put us in a situation that we have to rely on that. I do like the 30 days to mitigate that they have. And I have to say, I was very impressed with the owner the other night on the call, because I know they will do whatever they need to do. And I do appreciate that. But at the end, but again, that's one owner. There's going to be a few of these, and I think we need to put something stronger in place, because yeah, it's hard. If something does come up, they may have to figure out what that is. And they may do that on their own anyway, which I think he would. So I don't think this is such a terrible issue.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a solution to it. I think we can find a happy medium. I do want to be consistent with whatever, I mean, we can't just say if I smell or if someone smells, like different people smell differently. There are people that have their entire livelihoods based on their keen sense of smell, and some people can't smell anything. So I do think there has to be an objective standard, but I'm sure we can find a happy medium to figure that out. But the point is, what we have before us, if we were to, we're not prepared to add that kind of commentary or that kind of language in here now. What we have before us are changes that we've already agreed upon. And I think for the sake of, managing the affairs of this council, I think we still should push this forward. And then revisit, once we have the data, how we want to address smell and update the ordinance at that time.
And as I say, for the public's record, I did approve it this evening to have that discussion. And I know my colleagues, we've had thoughtful discussions, which I appreciate that. And I appreciate the investors. And again, my big concern is I want to see one of these open before we add numbers to it. And that's been my concern all along. So that's why I won't be supporting it on second reading. So not to say that if all goes well and there aren't any issues that I won't change my mind down the road, but I want to wait and be cautious about it. Not that anybody isn't, but that's just my sentiment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. So that's it. We did 2848, right? We moved it on first reading.
Yeah, to have the discussion, yes.
Okay, so 2849, an ordinance, 2849-24, an ordinance amending chapter 16, section 3 of the revised general ordinances of West Orange, swimming pools, plot plan required review fee. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes, just for clarity, Mr. Abbott, we spoke about this earlier. This is for commercial operators.
Well, we're on the plot plan one yet, right?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. The plot plan is for everybody.
I believe that'd be for everybody.
2850 is for commercial operators.
Correct.
Okay.
Question, Council President?
Yes, ma'am.
And Chief, this is going to be my question for both 2849 and 2850. Does it matter if it's indoor, outdoor pools?
I believe all pools have to be licensed, whether they're indoor or outdoor, when they're
Okay.
commercial use, multifamily use, that type of thing. This is
Okay.
not for a single family home.
Okay, I just didn't know if it needed to be, you needed to add indoor or outdoor, or it's just assumed, or,
I think it's assumed, Mike, our director, Mike Fonzino, is on the line if anybody wants to give him.
Mr. Fagan, can you bring Mr. Fonzino up? I actually thought the plot plan was for outdoor pools, but
yeah. You
It
could
would
have
be.
a screened in
That
indoor
would
one,
be.
yeah.
But I believe the licensure aspect needs to be, it pertains to all commercial.
commercial, not residential.
Not resident, except for multifamily residential, an apartment house that has a pool, that kind of thing.
Director Fonzino, can you hear us?
Yes, good evening.
Evening, Director. Councilwoman Castellino has a question for you.
Sure.
Yes, Director, thank you. For 48, and I'm sorry, number 49 and 50, 2820, 2849, 2850. Do the pools, does it matter if they're indoor, outdoor? We're assuming that that there'll be any pool, whether it's in or outside.
Yeah,
Inside.
the fee is the same, whether it's indoor or an outdoor pool.
Doesn't have to be specified in the ordinance. We're okay.
No, and there's different fees for, say hotels or swim clubs. There's different categories, but
Yeah,
it's
saw that.
it's the same fee whether the pool is indoor or outdoor. It doesn't change it.
Okay, I just wanted clarity. Thank you.
Sure.
Is it per pool? So if a hotel, for example, had an indoor and an outdoor pool, would they have to?
Yeah, per pool.
Any other questions, colleagues? No? Thank you, Director.
Oh, you're very welcome.
This is on first reading. Okay.
Yes, first.
Any
Uh,
correction?
2850-24, an ordinance amending Chapter 16, Section 4 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange, swimming pools, license fees. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading?
Second,
Councilwoman Castellino,
yes.
Councilwoman
Yes.
Scarpa, Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is carried. Pending matters, new matters, council discussion. We have an item listed for the selection of the CCRB representative.
You you need somebody?
Yeah, we need someone.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to think about it.
We'll work on it. Thank you for the reminder. We appreciate it.
Okay, it'll go on the next agenda.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other new matters, pending matters, colleagues?
I move to adjourn.
We have to go to
closed
executive session first.
I move to adjourn to closed session.
Second,
Okay, Councilwoman Castellino,
yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Council President Rutherford.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. We are adjourned and we will be entering into executive session.
Good night, West Orange.
Congratulations, good night, good vibes, wish you guys well. Thank you all for sticking it out.